my journey, and I am sharing what God had to do for me to get me detoxed from working for His love. Hey everyone, my name is Anu Hernandez, and I tell stories of healing that connect us with the heart of Jesus. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a very, very important pivotal moment in my faith journey with Jesus that really pushed me into a very different level of intimacy and depth with Him. Around 8 years ago, I went through a season when God asked me to step out of ministry. And I'll explain why. It's because I was working from a place of thinking that if I didn't do that work, He wouldn't love me. Number two, He was not okay with the fact that I couldn't discern between His voice and the church's voice, because I had become so dependent on relying on other people to tell me what my relationship with Jesus is and what God's voice sounds like. And He was not okay with that. He wanted me to develop my own personal connection with Him, where I could sit with Him in His presence. And when He talked to me, I recognized His voice. And I couldn't, because I was involved with so many different things all the time, meeting to meeting, ministry to ministry. You know how it is. Like, you could fill up your week with all the good works, and then you are left without having that actual time with God. And we really need to examine why we do that. I had come to that place in my faith journey where I was ready for the next thing. And I was asking Him, well, what's the next thing? Now, never did I expect Him to turn around and say what He said to me, but I am so thankful that He did. He said, Anu, you are confused between my voice and the church's voice right now. And I'm not okay with that. Don't automatically assume that the voice of the church is the voice of God. You are so immersed in Christian culture at this moment that you are struggling to distinguish and differentiate between when I am talking to you and when the church is talking to you. And not always is the church's voice my voice. And you need to know the difference. There is a part of you that still thinks you have to work for my love, and I'm not okay with that. The way you work is you think that you can outserve me. You can never outserve me, Anu. I need you to step out of every ministry that you are involved with and take a year off and just be with me. Am I enough for you? Gosh, I feel like crying just even thinking about that moment, because in that moment I realized that I was doing all these things in the name of God, but somewhere inside I felt like He wasn't enough for me, and I had to keep working and doing all these things. I had somehow tied my intimacy with God and my acceptance and belonging with Him to the good work that I was doing in His name. He said, there's a part of you that doesn't believe that I will love you if you just live this life in intimate connection with me without trying to do any type of work in my name. My heart as your Father is happy. Why do you not feel like that is enough, Anu? And He really confronted the part of my heart that was trying to work for love. And I was so scared, when I first heard that, I said, that is the voice of the devil. Because who tells you, one, to stop working and doing Christian things, and two, who tells you to step aside and take a year away from all types of church activities and Christian things and really just be with God? Like, who? Nobody has ever said that or done that. And anybody who's ever walked away from the church has always been demonized. So there's a fear too, because you're going to lose a reputation, you're going to lose community, you're going to be ostracized in a sense when you do things like that, because I didn't see a lot of people take those journeys. A lot of people left the church and never came back. And here was God saying, I want you to leave and go do this thing with me. And there was not one person that was doing that for the right reasons in the right way, and could show me a healthy journey that brought them back to Christian community. That conversation terrified me, because I knew this is the voice that talked to me when I was 12 and when I was 18 and when I was 24. So I want to listen to this voice. I trust this voice. For the first few months, the Lord said, I don't want you to do anything Christian related. Even to the point where he said, I don't want you listening to Christian music. I don't want you reading Christian literature. I don't want you to do anything with a Christian label. All those activities that you have been doing, which you think draw you closer to me because you need my love, we ain't doing that. We're going to really feel the fullness and the abundance of the life that I have given you. Anything that you are doing to win my love, I don't want that. I want you. I don't want any of those activities. I just want you. If I can sit with you for the rest of my life, that is the richest life that I can have. And I was struggling to do that with him because I had just associated him with all these activities. And thank God I had 1 or 2 mentors and friends that understood that journey. If it wasn't for them, and this is where I will tell you, this is not for you to go do this rogue by yourself. Like, you need to have at least 2 or 3 people in that process that understand why you're doing it. I had to work through a real addiction, and God showed me that just because you are doing good deeds, if they're coming from a toxic place, they're still as poisonous and destructive as if you were just out in the world doing some type of destructive habit, because you're still doing things from a place of wanting to earn my love and not from a place of knowing that you can be transformed because of my love. I had to take this journey with God. I had to go into a wilderness with just me and him. I've come back to Christian community. Sometimes instead of blessing people and releasing them into the arms of Christ that may take us away from our community, we demonize them and we curse them. We are actually stopping them from going into that next level of depth in their intimacy with Christ, because we cannot picture or fathom that they could do it separated from us. We have lost a lot of souls to the enemy because we have demonized God, leading them into a deeper process with him, because we don't trust that God can be with them in places and ways that we cannot be for them and with them. And that's a little bit of idolization of who we are, right? And idolatry in a sense. And I think it also requires a certain degree of humility, because it makes us have to look at the cultures that we have built as Christians and Christian communities. Are we ready to take an inventory of the culture that we have built? Imagine what we could do if we helped people set themselves up for walking those detoxification journeys with a small, intimate community, because we recognize that, oh, this is the season God is taking you into. The only reason why I share this today is because I know there are so many people that are working for God's love. And if there's one person that I can set free today and push them in the right direction of asking them to go to God and ask him if there's anything that he wants to work on. Like, do you have a core belief somewhere that you are unworthy or unlovable, that you can work out and uproot and heal with God? Okay, everyone, I think we've covered a lot today. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.